The quirk you now have is unique, and you should know its origin. One for All was derived from another odd quirk, a power that's very old.
It used to be something different?
The name of that quirk is All for One. It allowed its user to take quirks from others, and the user could keep the quirks for himself or give them to someone else.
What? You mean he could steal powers?
This was back when quirks were just starting to show up, before society had figured out how to deal with the newly powered among them. When quirks first appeared, suddenly it was impossible to say what it meant to be a normal person. Laws and human rights were hotly debated. Civilization's progress stalled. Society decayed.
If superpowers had never appeared, then humans would be taking interstellar holidays by this point. I remember hearing that from someone famous.
Right. During that chaotic period of change, there was one person who managed to rally many people together. He went by the name of his power, All for One. He stole quirks from others. And then, with his overwhelming abilities, he spread his influence across the country. He manipulated people to serve his purposes and committed evil acts with little resistance. In the blink of an eye, he became the leader of villains and ruled over Japan.
I've seen plenty of rumors about this online, sure, but isn't that all just made up? It's not mentioned in our textbooks.
Because it's the kind of shameful history people would rather ignore. Anyway, when a person gains true power, they enjoy showing it off to others.
How does this all tie together, though? And what about One for All?
I said that All for One could give quirks to others, remember? He made people trust him or submit to his will by altering their abilities. But apparently, there were many poor souls who couldn't bear the burden of the quirks they were given. They became like mindless living dolls, incapable of speaking. Just like the Nomus are. Meanwhile, some quirks actually evolved as they were passed on, some even combined with other power sets. This evil man had a quirkless younger brother. He was small and sickly, but he had a strong sense of justice. They couldn't have been more different. It pained the brother to see All for One's deeds, so he kept resisting him. And then, All for One transferred a quirk to a sibling, one that would allow him to stockpile power. We don't know if it was a gift he was giving his brother, or if he just wanted to force him to submit.
Don't tell me.
Yes, even though everyone thought he was quirkless, turns out the brother did have a quirk, though even he hadn't realized this to be the case. He had a useless power that only allowed him to pass on quirks. And so the stockpiling ability merged with the younger brother's power. And that is how One for All came to be. I've always found it ironic that justice so often spawns from evil.
Wait, hold on! I understand how One for All came about now. But this bad guy must be long dead by this point. So why are you bringing him up?
One who steals quirks has no limits. Anything's possible. There are quirks that halt aging. He probably has something like that. The symbol of evil seemed pretty much immortal, but the state of the world at the time and the huge difference in their combat abilities. The younger brother decided to entrust this new quirk to future generations. Even though he couldn't defeat All for One, he hoped One for All would continue to grow in power until it was strong enough to stop his older brother. Eventually, it was my turn, and I managed to defeat All for One. At least that's what I thought. But he survived, and is now back in action as the brain behind the League of Villains. So now you know. The entire purpose of One for All is to defeat All for One.